you are living your best life. You are living in an area that is touted as being paradise on earth. And if you, like me, you were attracted to the lushness of everything. But with paradise, there might be something you are missing, the threat of mold. And because I am in the thick of it, where I am living, I think it's important for you to know how prevalent it is and what you can do to keep it away. Because with paradise, with moisture, usually often comes mold. All right. So I'm living in Panama, and Panama is a tropical country, right? All through Central and Latin America, we only have two seasons, the rainy season and the dry season, la temporada seca y la temporada lluviosa. But guess what? You only get about 3 or 4 months of dry, and the rest of it is rain, rain, rain. And right now, Mr. El Nino has come to visit, and he's going to be with us for a little while. So we're getting lots of rain. So I love the rain. But with the love of the rain, I also have to be really cognizant of the danger of mold because of continuous rain. When I was visiting Panama, we had one year where we had a drought, but that was one year. Every single year after that, it's been lluvia, lots and lots of rain. Our dry season kind of extended a couple of weeks. And then I believe the rainy season has started maybe a couple of weeks early. So we have got to put our thinking caps on. The reason it's important is because a lot of people have been affected by mold in the past. So mold is a fungus, right? It grows with it's wet and dark and moist. You know, moisture is not really a good thing, except when my son had asthma, he needed moisture to help with his breathing, but not in this case. All right, let's get into it. If this is your first time watching me, seeing my video, my name is Maggie. I am a retired nurse, nurse practitioner, and I have been here in beautiful Panama since 2023. And I enjoy being here in Panama. But being happy in a place does not mean being oblivious to the challenges. And I believe in being proactive in whatever the situation is. Also, I, Maggie, am also the creator of SWA. It's a group of sassy older ladies that when I came in 2023 and decided I was going to retire here, I thought it would be a great idea to develop friendship, sisterhood, so that we can grow old together in a supportive environment while we reinvent ourselves. But as I always say, the ultimate goal of SWRA, single women retiring abroad, is to create a model of aging abroad that is sustainable and affordable. That affordability is very important. Okay, so I've been here 3 years, and I have to say, this is my second apartment. I've been in this apartment 3 years, and I have not been bothered by mold. And I think maybe the first couple of years I wasn't as aware, but when I've heard different people describe what they have had, and they have had to call a company to come and test it and to clean it with their chemicals and a retest to make sure. Because what you don't want to do is to live around mold. If you are someone with any kind of chronic condition, it might affect you. If you have lung condition, COVID, if you've had asthma, and just because you're older, you don't want to room with those things. So the best thing you can do is to be ahead of it, stay ahead of it, and be proactive. Okay. In the end of that video, this video here, I am recording myself showing you what I'm doing in my apartment to head off developing mold in my, I don't want to say I'm a neat freak, but I want to be in a clean, safe environment, right? So if you have mold that is undetected or untreated, yes, you can have the itchy eyes, you can have some skin irritation, your throat could be like you're having an allergic reaction. And some people are allergic to mold. You know, if you have asthma and you tend to be allergic to things, mold definitely is not your friend. And you don't want to cohabitate with the stuff. It's nasty. No bueno, no bueno. So, what do we do? What can we do to protect ourselves from developing mold? I have heard people going into Airbnbs and there is mold. If you go in the shower and you see like a film over maybe the shower door or the shower walls, ding, 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 no bueno. First of all, you don't want to be around that. Oh, yes. So always be looking to see. I had a sister who came and she rented an Airbnb and she said the mold was there for her to see. And she called the owner and said, "You're going to have this clean." Well, he had maybe a housekeeper or somebody come and wash around, and then he called her and said, "It's good. You can come back." Well, this lady had an autoimmune disease, and she's like, "No. You have to test it, clean it, and retest it. And I want to see the result of that test before I go in there." And sometimes the film, the mold could look black, or it could be just like a film. It could be green. Ooh. And and if it's not treated and the moisture continues, it can it likes to kind of share and take space, right? So people have told me they sit on the wall, in the bathroom, on your sheets. That gives me heebie-jeebies. On your sheets and your pillows, you breathing the stuff? No, sis, no bueno. Okay. So for your health, you want to make sure you control it. All right. So let's say what you can do because it's kind of invasive. It could be insidious. It comes and you didn't realize it. And especially if you've been away and your house has been closed off without light, without ventilation. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. So I had a sister who had a mold, did you say mold infestation? I don't know if that's the right word, but she said they told her not to open the windows. Well, when she said that, it was like in the dry season. And I'm like, I'm from Florida. I like to get fresh air into my house. And when I just researched it, they say you want ventilation, aeration. Now, if the humidity is about 100%, if you open your door, you're only going to bring in the moisture, your humidity. No bueno, right? So that makes sense. And also, I read that the mold tends to grow in an environment where the humidity is about 80% or above. Well, I don't know because sometimes it feels really sticky here, and I would check the weather channel and would say humidity 65%. And I'm like, no, this is not correct. So don't go by those numbers, go by how you feel. Like yesterday, we went out. The moment I left the building, it just enveloped me. It's like, oh, I could feel the humidity, right? And it's not pleasant. So think about your house. You know, the little boogers just waiting to grow and take over. So you want ventilation. The other thing you can do is if you have fans. I don't have fans. I wish I did. Run your fans all the time. They're gonna because your goal is to dry out the air inside your home, in your living space. So run your AC. It doesn't have to be 24/7 because then again we have the high energy bills, but I think at least once a day. Now, I have a guest room that I don't use, but I don't have central AC has been broken. But if I have I don't know, mini split or whatever they call those individual units on the wall, I got to make sure I turn it on, even if there's nobody in that room. Sometimes I walk in the rainy season, I walk into my home and the humidity hits me and I'm like, ding, 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 you need to turn it on, turn the AC on, because if I can feel the humidity coming from the outside, that's a no bueno, okay? So ventilation, open your windows if the air is dry, run your fans, pretty much all the time. Run your AC for a good portion of the day, at least every day, okay? And the most important thing is be alert. I call it do the inspector gadget, looking at crevices, looking at walls. One year, I had a pair of black suede shoes. Mold loves leather, so do not bring anything leather inside your apartment. That's a no bueno, okay? So I saw little spots and I was like, ding, 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 there comes the bleach and everything. And I cleaned it and yes. And earlier this week, I have a door, an armoire, which is like a closet, closed closet. And I look on the door and I see some little spot. I'm like, oh, ding, ding, ding. So I made a bleach solution, 1 to 10, 1 part bleach, 10 parts water, and wipe it, and it's good. In your bathroom, your bathroom is a moist area, but you got to play Inspector Gadget. Now, a lot of the apartments here, like my apartment, I have this beautiful view in the front, right? But there is nothing else, no other windows in the house. Some sisters are in a corner lot and they may have windows on some bedroom. I don't have that. So the bathroom doesn't get a lot of ventilation, the closet. So I have to be really, really careful. Always looking. Look on your shower wall. Do you see anything? It's like start wiping and bleaching. And let me tell you, don't leave uh, wet clothes laying around. If you have wet clothes, put them outside on the patio or dry them up in the dryer. So moisture, moisture, moisture. It's good for your skin, not for your apartment, not for the air. Okay? So make sure you do that. The other thing you can do besides playing Inspector Gadget, even if you do all the things we talk about, you could still have mold. All right? Before I forget to tell you that a lot of times mold management, your landlord is not going to pay for it. So it's going to come out of your pocket. And I will also try to remember to put a couple of names in the description of companies that will come, test, treat, retest, but you got to pay them. I don't know. I don't know how much they would charge for that. I guess it all depends on the size of your apartment and the intensity of your infestation. I don't know any other word to use. Okay, what was I gonna say? Okay, the other thing you could do, you have to get the air to dry out inside your apartment. So what most of us use are units we call dehumidifiers. This humidificador, I just read it in the books. Because remember in Spanish, if you say this, that means you're undoing something. All right? My students would be proud. So you buying a dehumidifier. A lot of people, I don't think you get them on the walls, but they can be on a console, depending on how big they are. I didn't want to get a bulky one like that. So I have one mini dehumidifier that I've had for a couple of years, and it works amazing. And the thing that really makes you think, oh my God, is you plug it in. Now that one you can let run all the time. And then you got two, depending on how the level of humidity, after 2 or 3 days, the whole canister is full of water. And it's like, whoa. So when we talk about the humidity, we're not trying to be funny. This is real. That this stuff stays in your closet. It hangs on your clothes. You can find the film on your clothes. That's a no bueno, right? So you use the dehumidifier. If you want to get a big one and you find a place for it, maybe make it look pretty, you can get a big one. And that one, my issue is if I get a big one, like my living area, yeah, I think a big one would be great. But what about the bedrooms? What about the bathrooms, right? So I have a mini in my bedroom. I've never seen anything in my regular living area, living room, kitchen. I don't see any of that because that's open, right? But in my bedrooms, in the closet area where my clothes are, we hang what we call damp rid. which is, I think it's a chemical thing. There is a granule, and I'll show it to you in the video that you're gonna see when I'm finished here. And then you just hang it, and then you keep checking it. Let me tell you, depending on the level of humidity, it will fill up. And I paid about $6 for one, so that's money well spent. So today I bought a box of 3, and I hung 2 in my closets on both sides, and then I put 1 in a dark closet that I have where my central AC unit is and where I store. Storage areas are very important to keep an eye on, right? And hang a damper there for $6. No, I may be cheap, but I don't play around with stuff like that. So I hung one in there, and I think I'll let my group know how long it took to fill the bag, which tells me the level of humidity and the level of moisture. Okay? So AC, fans, wipe down, be on the lookout, and do the, what do you call that? Get the equipment in the house, the dehumidifier, the fans, dampers, whatever you need to do. So now I had another one that I had put in my bathroom. I'm trying to see if they have, sometimes you get the thing and then you can buy the inserts with the granules and the, for the water. Anyway, so I am not a physicist, but of course it's a physics issue where they put something in there that traps the water and then it goes down in that bag. It's just amazing. The canister fills so fast and I'm like, is it really that humid here? But I think the best thing is if you start feeling weird, your throat is itchy, you're itching and you're like, is it my clothes? Some people think it's maybe the detergent they're using or the soap. Could be mold. Are you doing the Inspector Gadget? Get a flashlight, go underneath your sink, underneath your cabinet in the bathroom and check. And if you see film, no bueno. And if it's bad enough that your little bleach solution doesn't work, call a professional because it grows fast. It just takes over surfaces, so you don't want that. All right, sis. So today, this is really practical. The video, I'm going to show you the unit. I bought an extra unit today of the mini dehumidifier. So I'm putting one in my guest room. And then I'm hanging the damper so you could see how you do it. The damper, and remember, this information is not just for Panama. You could live in Ecuador, anywhere in Latin America where you have a lot of rain. I understand, like, places like Indonesia and Thailand and the Philippines get a lot of rain too. So I think this is something that can affect everyone. And because I'm a health professional, I want all of us to remain healthy, okay? Because you don't want to be breathing that stuff. You're going to be on your sheets. Ew, that's a no bueno. That's a no bueno. All right, so stick around and watch the video and learn and keep yourself safe, sis, okay? I will talk to you in the next video. Au revoir, à la prochaine, bonne journée, bye. Love you. I knew I needed to get ready for this rainy season. In the rainy season, as I probably would have already told you. So we have a mini dehumidifier that works excellent in my bedroom. And then earlier this week, I noticed on the surface of the armoire that I saw like little spots, and this is where you play Inspector Gadget, and I'm like, oh, no. So I made a bleach solution, got a towel and got rid of it. So I said, okay, I need to get another dehumidifier for that particular room because I don't usually use it unless I have company, but that is not a reason not to be ready. So I went and bought, this is Eva Dry Petite Dehumidifier. And I think what's the word again? Deshumidificador pequeño. deshumidificador pequeño. Okay, let me torture my student and send that to them. What are you doing, Professora? It's like, okay, so I'm going to show you, I'm going to get it out, and then I'll take you to the room where I'm just going to let it sit, because I only have one table in that room. Ooh. If it's about the same size as the one I have in the bedroom, they're not big, they're very small, but the one I have, I've had it for maybe a couple of years now, and it works. It's got a nice little canister, and then you just sit it on a hard surface. And deshumidificador pequeño. I don't like to read manuals, so I don't. It's like, just tell me what to do. I don't have the patience to read anything. Okay, so it comes like this, and then this is like the little canister. You just pull it out, right? When it's full, of course, you don't ever let it get all the way to the top. I think they give you like a gauge. I thought they did. I don't see it, but I don't let it get overfilled. So to about here, I'll dump it. And when you dump it, there is like a little thing here. You pop it up, and then you turn it over like in your sink, right? And then you have to have that, push that in, otherwise it won't get back inside. Okay. So snatches in. That must be the cord. Yes. And here, I don't worry so much about, you know how you used to always have a strip in case, of storm and that they wouldn't get fried. We don't get a lot of that here. So I have one strip next to where the TV is. And I guess I do. And I have another strip in the kitchen where the microwave, the coffee pot, which I don't use, and the water thing. I have a water jug that I use to make coffee, boil water, and of course there is in the back, and you just put it in. All right, and I'll take you with me, and we're gonna sit in there and turn it on. What I need to remember is to, like when I'm going to bed, to go and turn it off, because there's no need to leave it on all night. But this one would not be using a lot of electricity, so I shouldn't have to worry about that, okay? Now we are in the guest room, and there is a little table here, so when I have guests, there is one lamp, so I'm just going to set it right here because I don't have any other place to put it. And we're just going to plug it in here. I had an air freshener. I'm going to pull that out. So this is more important than air freshener. Okay? And you just turn it on, and you'll see this little light. And that's it. Now, what I wanted to show you also is that here I have my armoire. So I've opened, I don't have any guests, so I've opened the doors to let it air out. And this is where I had noticed a few little patches, and I'm like, oh, no, that is not going to work. So I went ahead and, wipe it down. So we're good here. We're going to leave that open. And over here also is where, when people come, they can hang their clothes. And I've even opened the drawers down here to make sure that we don't miss anything. All right. So there's a fan here. If I ever need in this room. All right. The bathroom, I'm always looking, this is the guest bath, to see if I see anything. And usually I'm looking in the ceiling, I'm looking around, just to make sure. You got to play Inspector Gadget. And the other place you need to look is like, make sure you look at your door, that you don't see any patches. And if you do, you just make a little bit of a bleach solution, and then you're good. Now I want to show you this closet here. This here is where we have our AC unit, right? And it's been broken, so I don't use it a lot. But I have hung a damper in here when I was going away. And I have some suitcases there, and I keep my paper goods in here, which is fine. But I'm noticing, like on this suitcase, I see on this suitcase here, like over here, I'm thinking I see some discoloration. So what I want to do is take this out and then get the bleach solution and that down. You got to play Inspector. Okay, just, I don't know if it's the rubber, it's a rubber, but just to make me feel good, I'm gonna wipe it down. Wipe it down, wipe it down. You know, 1 to 10. I want few bleach. 1 to 10 solution, and I'm a bleach girl. I love bleach and vinegar. Those are my favorite cleaning agents. All right. Now I could wear gloves, and I probably should, but okay, I'm not. All right. So let's. Okay, it comes right off. It comes right off. We're not playing games with this mold. Okay, so you see how everything looks nice and clean. So I'm going to do it on the other side. I have some pictures. This sister left, and she left me these pictures, and I have not hung them yet. So let's just clean this, make sure we don't miss anything, and that's what you do. Okay? Yep. I mean, again, it wasn't anything major, right? But I just make sure that I don't deal with any of that. Looking at my carry-on, it looks good. So we're gonna put it back here. All right? So, and then, let's see, this suitcase looks good. Let's look over here. We have another suitcase here, right here. Okay. Oh, this one looks good. So we know it is a high humidity, and we don't want that. All right, let's bring this up. And let's look over here. Now, I'm gonna put it back, right? You know, my tripod likes to do this drop. Let's drop it. Drop it like it's hot. Okay, so we're done with that, right? Okay, so now I went to chains that we have here. I was able to find the damp red. I can tell you, you can go to a lot of different places and you can't find it. Like I couldn't find it at Discovery. I couldn't find it at Do It Center. I didn't go to Nove. Nove is not a favorite place of mine. I'd rather go to Do It Center. But I found it at, and there were only 2. And then it had 3 in it, and I was like, oh, that's great. And that's the way they come out. It's got like a granule. And then once the granules are done, and then you see water only, it's done. You know, how much did that cost me? I didn't even check. And that's the thing. I don't usually check prices, which I should. Let's see. And I tell you, this is where I had Pocahontas. Oh, this is Oka Loka. Super 99. Have it. $5.99. I bought this Clorox. You know, I was telling you I was looking for something for the to flush the toilet bowl, and I don't like the blue, all the way blue. This one is a mix. So, oh, let's see, how much did I pay for? The damp red was $16.99 for the 3 packs. So $17, more than $5, yeah, like $6 a piece. I mean, it's not cheap, but I don't know how long it's gonna last. So I'm cutting that, and I'm just gonna hang one, right? You see the granules, and then the water would drop in here. So when it's time for you to discard it, there is a line. You see the line here? It says, discard when liquid reaches this area. Okay, so they don't want you to keep it all the way up here. So when it gets to here, you discard it. And what I do, I just go right over here, and I just hang it right here. Right here. Because right here, this is my picnic chair. So I hang it right here. Okay? And then every so often, I just open the doors, and I don't let it just, you know, just shut off all the time. Yep. I didn't get to the store to get my other my other foundation that I spot treat. You know, that's another thing. You know, I found it one place and couldn't find it somewhere else. Okay, so the next 2, we're gonna hang them in my closets. Now, I don't have any clothing in the guest bedroom, remember that? And then, so now we're gonna put these in my closet, and then I should be okay. My bathroom, I've had one in my bathroom, but I'm thinking a bathroom is always gonna be moist, right? You got showers and everything, so, you know, it's funny because when my son was growing up and he had asthma, I used to buy a humidifier just to put some moisture in the air, because the dry air used to make him, you know, wheeze. So now I'm dealing with the opposite. Just crazy stuff. All right, those masks. All right, let's go to the closet. And we're gonna put them in the closet. Okay. Yes. The closet. So I don't put it in the, you know, I have like a upper shelf and lower shelf. I just put it right here. And then I have the same, this is where my closet is, but this part here only has the high for the dresses. So I still need to, this is fine. Okay. All right. Because you don't want moisture in your clothes. Because like I said, sometimes people will say, oh, they have moisture on their pillowcases, on their pillows. And I'm like, ew, no, 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 that's no bueno, right? And then once I found a little bit of moisture on one of those shoes, and it's like, it's a no bueno. Hola. All right, you guys. So what else should we do to keep the moisture out? Remember, you turn those ladies who have fans, I wish I did, but I don't. You run your fans, run your AC at least once a day. So I'm gonna go turn the AC on in that guest room, even though there's no one here. This is just mold prevention steps. Super important. All right, so be safe. Always look, usually molds like to show up like in the top right there, where the ceiling is, up over that way. So in the corners, in the crevices, you're always looking up, right? Look, and see if you see anything. So on this door here that is so beautiful with that pine, so I would be looking, and every so often I just wipe them down, okay? So we cannot not pay attention. Always inspect the gadget, all right? Because this is our home, this is our health that that can affect, and no one's going to do it for you. And if you are going to be out, there's a sister, I had breakfast with her yesterday. She's going back to Spain. And I asked her, I said, what do you do with your apartment? She said she has this, she's got the doors open or windows, and concierge, I guess the people in her building keep an eye out. I would worry, but she's been doing it for a few years. She said she has no problem. I'm like, okay. Because when I went out, I was gone for a month. I had a sister come and open and air out my house once a week. I said, just come, open the doors and sit out there and enjoy the view, the water, turn the AC on, and she was watering the plants too and everything. So that was my Jacqueline. She's back in the States now, but she was so grateful. She came with her son, and they just keep an eye. I would, if I was gonna go more than 1 week, I would have somebody come and check. All right, so that's all I got. We just have to be vigilant. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Over. À la prochaine. Bye.